Hi friends, it is Mary from Mom Behind the Computer. I finally had a minute, and so I wanted to stop by and record a video for you that I promised I would in my last video, explaining how my little girl's birthday party went. I guess parties went, how her birthday celebration went. So my little girl she is now, she's now 6. She was turning 6 recently, and we wanted to celebrate her birthday while still keeping others and ourselves as safe as possible here in 2020. And so, not being able to see people in person, especially because right now it's November 2020, so the weather is starting to turn like cold and rainy in our area. So even some sort of too much outdoor activity would not go well. So at least not be able something that we could really plan for. Sometimes the weather's beautiful. The day she was born, it snowed, so you just never know what you're getting into with weather around here in November. So I needed to be a little bit creative in trying to figure out a good birthday solution for her, and I think we did. So we actually ended up having 4 birthday celebrations for her, which I know seems a little bit much, but they all had very specific purposes and very specific sets of people that wanted to be involved in them or were able to be involved, that sort of thing. So I think they all turned out really well. She seemed very excited after each of them. And we're going to talk about one of them kind of in depth. That was her friend party, which was a Zoom birthday party. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the end, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of share the other things that we did as well. Because if you're planning a virtual birthday party for someone that you love, I know I really benefited from everyone who shared their different ideas. Some of them worked for us this time, some of them didn't, but I know that even the ideas that don't work for us, I benefit from hearing. So I'm going to share a little bit about each of the birthday parties with you in case anything works for you. So one of our parties that we had was a mini car parade. We had some friends that offered to do this for a little girl, and she was so excited about it. It was a very, very, very small car parade, I think about 3 cars, and it was perfect because she was, like I said, in November, you never know what kind of weather you're going to get. Actually, that day it was very windy, but they decorated up their cars and came out and waved very distantly. And little girl just loved the attention, which is great. You know, she loved that they were doing something special for her. And it was great to see them from a distance. You know, we really haven't had an opportunity to see a lot of our friends. We've seen some of them from a distance, but very far from a distance and not very often. And we've seen, I think I've been able to see some people a time or two on Zoom, but it's not something that we're able to do too often, unfortunately, right now. So it was really kind of them to drive out and do that for her, and it made her feel very special. I can definitely see where a big car parade would be a lot of fun. However, that just wasn't something that we felt would be a good fit for our group of family and friends and things like that this year. But if that is something that seems like it would be a good fit for your group of friends, she loved it, and it was a lot of fun for us as parents to see, and the people that were involved said that they had a good time as well. So I definitely suggest you consider a car parade, if that is something that you think your child would like, and that some friends or family members, that would be a good fit for them. So that was a fun part we had. We also had a family Zoom dinner. So we have often, when things were not pandemic, would meet up with family to go out to lunch, and typically that was something that we would do kind of with my side of the family because my husband has a lot of allergies, so we would do it when he was at work, since he can't go out to eat. But we would do it as an easy way for family to get together and celebrate with her and have something fun. And she thinks, you know, it's a treat for her because we don't go out a lot. When I talked to her about how she wanted to get together with her family, she thought that having dinner with everyone would be a lot of fun. So what we did was, I think we had a total, I'm trying to think of how many people we had on the call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we have 5 other screens, so groups of people in that call. and most of them either had a snack or had dinner, and we all ate together as a family over Zoom. That was a lot of fun. What we actually did here in our house is I brought down, there were 4 of us in our house, my son who is 6 months old, my daughter who's turning 6, and 6 years old, and my husband and myself. So I brought down our TV from our bedroom because it had an HDMI port. I hooked up my computer to it. I also have a thing where I could hook up my cell phone to it, which is what I originally planned. However, the computer just has such better controls, and being the host of the Zoom call, I wanted to make sure I had all of those controls easy to find, to make it go as smoothly as possible. So I hooked up my computer, and we were able to watch the big screen and see all of our family members. One thing I would do differently if I do that again is I would set up the laptop camera directly with the screen, with the TV, because I noticed that we were watching the TV even when we were talking to people, rather than watching the camera. So I should know this from recording YouTube videos. I do that sometimes. You'll notice me kind of like dart back and forth, like right now, making sure I'm in frame. But one thing really cool about doing these Zoom birthdays is you can record them if you're the host. And I said, oh, won't these be really interesting family videos in like 20 years? I hope they're interesting. I hope this is not the norm. And so I noticed that we were just not making eye contact with the camera at all. But I don't think anyone minded that. My family got to see my little girl and my little guy eat dinner. She was able to open her gifts, do a cupcake, and all of that. She had a really great time being able to chat with everybody. And, you know, honestly, it felt more normal than I thought it would. It was different, of course, and obviously our ideal is to be able to be with family and give them hugs and talk to them more and things like that. But it really went much better than I expected it to. I told some family members towards the end of the call when some people were getting off, I said, actually, I think that I was able to connect and talk with everyone more than when we meet up at a restaurant, because a lot of times when you meet up at a restaurant and you have a large group, you're only talking to the people who are immediately at the sides or across the table. And there have been times where I've been at dinner with someone and they've been at the end of the table because we're a large group, and I've barely said 2 words to them. I say, hi, how are you? Sorry we didn't get to talk, that sort of thing. So that was a neat part of Zoom. We're planning on doing more for the holidays with our family, so I'm excited to get to chat with everyone a little bit more and things like that. I did do some things to sort of help the process along because we had several family members who don't use Zoom. And if you would be interested in kind of knowing that and having some templates for that, for your own family or friend Zoom gathering, let me know in the comments below, and I might be able to record another video about that and provide some templates of things that I typed up as far as how to use Zoom. It must have went well because honestly we really didn't have anyone have issues with Zoom at all, even the people who have never used it before. We were able to work out any kinks kind of beforehand, and the call went wonderfully, thank God. So I was very happy about all of that. The other thing that we did was an in-person party. So obviously it was just for the 4 of us, for my son, my daughter, my husband, and myself, and we did an Animal Crossing birthday party at her request. So we did in-person Animal Crossing, and we made some really cool DIYs and things like that. Again, let me know in the comments below if you're interested. I would love to sort of share some of the videos and pictures that I took that day and tell you a little bit about what we did. My husband and I had so much fun with that, and little girl had so much fun with it. And we also did an in-game Animal Crossing birthday party because I do that for all of, I've done that so far for my husband and my daughter, and when my dad's birthday comes around next year, we weren't playing Animal Crossing when his birthday was around this year, but we play all over the internet with my dad, so I'm planning one for him as well. So that was a lot of fun. Those were the 3 that we did that I'm kind of, I know it may have sounded like I went in depth, but I actually didn't go too far in depth in those. But what I did want to talk about more is my little girl's friend Zoom birthday party. So what we wanted to do with this was be able to invite some of her friends. And we wanted it to be something that would be fun, not only for her to be able to kind of be the center of attention and be able to connect with her friends and things like that. But I also wanted it to be kind of fun and memorable for the people that were attending, the kids that were attending. So what we ultimately decided to do was I sort of centered the party around Christina from Big Head Cartoon doing these cartoon pictures of all of the attendees. And what I really wanted that for was I wanted to have a party favor for them. And we had decided that it wasn't going to be best to have something mailed to each of the kids. We also had a rather large range of ages. So I was trying to plan something that would appeal to my daughter, of course, and her friends her age, but also the friends that are younger, and she had several that she wanted to invite. So we were doing a wide range of ages that it needed to be kind of fun for, or something memorable, or something that could be put in the scrapbook for those that are too young to remember. So I wanted to kind of center everything around that because I knew I was really insistent upon having that. I reached out to Christina from Big Head Cartoon after seeing some videos here on YouTube actually, and I asked her if she would be interested in sort of partnering for my little girl's birthday and me being able to share with my audience here, and she said sure. So that's kind of what we did. I wanted to be able to share with you all, and in exchange she provided her services for my daughter's party, and nothing I'm saying here or in any of my videos was requested by her. You're getting my full and honest opinion, and I wasn't paid for any of it other than the exchanges for services for my daughter's party. So that was the big part of it, and working with Christina to get it all set up was seamless. It was wonderful. She knows what she's doing in giving you a questionnaire of what to fill out, and she just asked that I check in a couple of days before the party. I did that with my guest list, and I also made a few notes because, like I said, some of the party guests were younger, and I knew that they may have to leave if there was like a meltdown or a nap, which surprisingly no one needed to leave for any of those reasons or anything like that. So I asked her to do those first, and she did those after the birthday girl. Christina has an amazing service. Let me go ahead and kind of, I guess, cover everything that she did. So what we did was she set up the Zoom information so that she could record it. And I don't know if this is a regular part of her packages or not, being able to get the recording back. But I know that she gave it to me so that I can share it with you. I'm going to insert some clips as I'm talking of her doing the party, and then I'm probably going to do another video. I'm not comfortable sharing our friends' kids' pictures, but I am okay sharing the drawings of them. So I'm going to share some of that in another video as a whole, but I am going to share some clips here. So if you see some as I'm talking, you'll know that this is actually the party. She sent me the video so that I could share with you all, so that you could get a feel of what a party is like with her. So what she did was she kind of logged on, and we had someone else host the party. I'll get into that a little bit later. But basically she said, I'm here, everything's good, just make sure I can see the kids, and I am going to go ahead and start drawing. And so she drew the birthday girl first and things like that, kind of introduced herself to all of the kids, and we had a screen where we could see her drawing, and that was so cool. She is so amazingly talented. Like, I love how quickly she was able to draw, but she drew so accurately and just really captured a really fun cartoon of each of the kids. It was so much fun. And so in the end, what we got as part of the package that we did, like I said, I'm not sure if the video is a normal thing or because I was doing a promotion with her, but we also got drawings of each person individually that we were able to give out as party favors, and then we got this awesome, I can't wait to show you guys this awesome group picture. And I said, how cool is it that my daughter has a group picture from her Zoom party that isn't all in squares? I think this is so cool. So I covered up the bottom here, which she has personalized, which will be great for my little girl's scrapbook and all of that, but I didn't want you guys to see that, no offense. I didn't want the personal information. But this is her group of all of the kids that came to her party. My little girl here is front and center with her big yellow bow and her glasses, and I just love this. Like, look how fun these drawings are. And so each of these were separate. I have one separate of my little girl, and everybody has this fun like party areas. It looks like it's really fun, like they just got together and posed and things like that. So the kids got to watch while they were doing that and while they were doing other activities, and she really made a good point to make sure she could kind of connect with each child. And I think that kind of gave her an opportunity to see some of like their physical characteristics, and you know, like you can see some of the girls, some of the boys. Some of them just have little smiles, and some of them have great big smiles. And you know, each of them, I know each of the kids because they're my daughter's friends. So it feels like she really caught a lot of their personality and things in each of the pictures, and kind of how they were feeling on the call and things like that. So it was so cute. And so we've got the group picture, we got the individual pictures, and the other thing that I did was I sent those out digitally. So I think that these would be really fun to print out and send personally. But again, I know my strengths, and I know that I have a young child, and I know that I'm barely squeaking by some days. So I didn't want anyone to get held up and not be able to get their picture. So I just sent them out digitally, and all of the parents seemed to really enjoy it, and hopefully the kids did too. A lot of people have really good compliments about her drawings and about the party in general, and how they had a really good time. So I can't say enough good things about Christina and Big Head Cartoon. If you are having any sort of virtual party, I would definitely suggest you look into her services. So she has this service where you can do other things, and that's what we did in our party. But she also has other services where it's kind of all-encompassing, and you don't have to worry about anyone else. So she has a live drummer that can come and drum. I've seen a couple of videos. I'm going to link her video in the description box, or her YouTube channel in the description box, so that you can kind of see a clip of that. It looks really fun, and I think that would be perfect, especially for older kids or things like that. So she does offer that. She offers, I know in Halloween she did a jack-o'-lantern experience, which sounds really fun. Obviously that's over with now, but the next thing that she's offering is drawings with Santa. And so Santa gets on the call, talks to the kids, or the adults, I guess, and does all of that. And that sounds like a super fun way to create a new holiday memory experience and things like that. She's also doing, I believe, ice sculptures, which I don't know much about, but I am very excited to kind of see how that plays out. I'm watching her social media all the time to kind of see what she's coming up with next. And so I'll be sure to leave links down below so that you can get in touch with her if that is something that you're interested in. When I got in touch with Christina and was setting up the party, I did ask her, I said, are the drawings, will they keep a set of children entertained? And she said yes, that typically they do. However, if I wanted to have any other activities, I certainly could, as long as the kids could be seen. And so we opted, especially because we had such young children, we opted to hire a party host. And I talked about it a little bit in the last video. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to secure the host, but in between the time of the video and the party, the video recording anyways, and the party, I was able to sort of finalize things with a teacher friend who teaches online, and her name is Louise Sarah, and she was able, thankfully, she had the time free, and I hadn't met her before. I hadn't connected with her other than some chats before the party. So I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but she was great at planning it. She was very thorough, asked what my daughter liked, what we wanted, how we expected everything to go, asked a lot of questions about how the cartoonist was going to be a part of this, because that's obviously very different for people hosting parties than the norm. She also asked, we talked a lot about how the party would be ran technically, because again, normally she's the host and normally she's able to run things, and she was really willing to work with us as far as the cartoonist goes, even though that was out of her norm. And I thought that that was so kind of her, because I know once you've got a setup, it can be really you don't want to change it because you want the party to be successful. But she was willing, and she did an awesome job hosting the party. So my daughter had asked for kind of a guided drawing, a dance party, and a game that didn't require supplies. Well, I put in the supply part, but I didn't want parents to have to do too many supplies. The only supplies that I asked them to have was a piece of paper and some crayons or drawing things. And what we ended up doing with the hosted part of the party is she ran everything. She played some fun music that my daughter loved. We danced and had a great time as far as that goes. We played Simon Says, and I'm trying to think if they played another game. They may have played another game. I'm trying to remember. I don't know off the top of my head, but she had that prepared and ready to go. And then my daughter wanted it lightly Pokemon themed, which Christina did a great job including in her drawings, and Louise did a great job including in the party. She did just what I asked. So I asked that if she did do any Pokemon activities, I knew there were about 4 or 5 of the kids who love Pokemon as much as my daughter does, so that wouldn't be any issue. But there were some kids that I didn't think probably even had been introduced to Pokemon yet, and I didn't want them to feel excluded. So what she decided to do was a make your own Pokemon card, and she said for those who weren't into Pokemon, they could make it their own superhero or an animal or something like that. And we got the kids just did a great job with it. Even the littlest kids that I really just thought would not have anything to do with it, they all did their own drawings and their own activities. And they all sat so well and just were great. And I was so impressed with them. Even the kids that were kind of doing their own thing, they seemed to be having fun just sort of listening in and things like that. And I didn't care. I am well aware. I have children. I know how children are. There was going to be no offense if everybody sort of did their own thing. But I was impressed that it seemed to keep the attention of a lot of the kids, the majority actually. She did a great job hosting, and I was so grateful that we were able to make that happen, because what it allowed me to do was just sort of sit back, enjoy the party, make sure my daughter had what she needed, make sure that everybody was, I was sort of a second set of eyes, so if any of the kids were raising their hand or trying to talk and weren't able to be seen, I was able to kind of jump in and say, oh, I think so-and-so was trying to show you this, because it's really hard to see. I think we had a total of 10 screens when you count in the host and all of that. So I was able to kind of jump in and help with that. But it was so much more enjoyable for me as a parent. Now, like I said in the planning video, it wasn't going to be a big deal if I had to host. I would have been okay doing that. I'm not afraid of kids or leading them. But as a mom, it's just really nice to be able to focus on your kid as much as possible and making sure the party goes well. All of the parents seemed complimentary and said that it was a really fun idea, that they enjoyed the party. We kept it at just right at an hour. I think we may have went over 5 or 10 minutes as we were saying goodbyes. And I think that was a good amount of time. So it didn't feel rushed, but it didn't feel like it was lingering either. It didn't feel like the kids were tired of it. I think that we were all ready to wrap up at the end of the hour and things like that. But it felt like a really good amount of time. Now, we did not do gifts. We did not do birthday cake or anything like that, because, again, I didn't take anything around to the kids. I would have loved to take cupcakes to each of the kids so they could have enjoyed those with us, but I was trying to be realistic of having a 6-month-old and what mommy was able to do sanely. So that's what we decided to do. When I got off the call, when we got off the video, I did ask my little girl if she had a good time, and she said it was the best birthday party ever. And so she's always enthusiastic, which I enjoy, and I was so happy to hear that she had a good time with that. Once the party was completed, the very first thing we did not go do anything else. We turned off the computer, and I sat down with my iPhone, and I sat her down and I said, we're going to do thank you cards. And our thank you cards are video cards, because one, again, mommy knows her weaknesses and her strengths, and we do thank you cards physically written from time to time, but for bigger group events, I know realistically what I am capable of actually getting out. So I always try to make it special. I've done picture cards in the past with just like a little note at the bottom, things like that. But I'm really loving doing video cards, and I thought that it was very appropriate to do that for a Zoom party. So we sat down and she recorded a thank you message with something special about each of the kids that came. And we got those out immediately with a note saying that we should have the cartoons within a few days, and I would get them out as soon as I did. As soon as I got them in my email that same day, I got those out to the parents and told them thank you again, and that I would email them any files if they wanted to print it, and several took me up on that. So we didn't have to stress about that anymore. I was so glad that we did that at the immediate end of the party. One, to let everyone know how grateful we were that they came, and two, to make sure that we thanked everyone appropriately quickly. So I was so happy with how the party went. I can't imagine anything that would have made it better for us. Everything was amazing. I think the combination of having the activities for the kids, but also having the drawings that the kids could watch and see was really fun. So if the kids got distracted from dancing or whatever and they needed a minute, they could watch the drawings, and that was a lot of fun. I guess maybe the only thing is if Zoom was set up differently, or if I knew more about Zoom to kind of better set up the screen. But Christina does have a screen where she is able to show everyone and then pull in the people that she needs to see bigger, and that worked really well as well. So we didn't have any issues there. Again, I did do some sort of this is what to expect from our party, and if you'd like any of those templates, let me know in the comments below and I can create a file so that if you ever do a big head cartoon party, maybe you might want to share that with the invitations. She has some information as well, so don't worry about that. You don't have to have these. This is just sort of what I found worked well for us. Again, thankfully no technical issues or anything like that. We did take all of our other devices off of the internet just to make sure that we didn't have any issues on our end, and we didn't, and no one else had any issues on their end, thankfully. That's not always the case. We've had times where we have run into issues when we've been on Zoom calls with people. Thankfully no issues at all for this. So we had a great time, and honestly, with all 4 parties, I just feel so blessed, so incredibly blessed that everything worked out, that God has connected us with some amazing people, both with our friends and family that wanted to celebrate with us, and these people who made these amazing parties happen. So I'm going to put links and resources and everything in the description box below, and if you have any questions or anything you'd like to know more about, please be sure to let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them in a future video. If you'd like to see more videos about what we are doing to have fun and enjoy things and enjoy special moments, even in this pandemic, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. We are going to have more videos of that topic nature in the future. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.